And if either of those lights goes off, let me know.
The red one?
Yeah.
What if they're flashing?
Yeah, flashing light.
I guess since it seems like everything's good, we can call the meeting to order. So let's, first of all, did we want to take anything out of order, or do we just want to go in order?
Well, I think the first item is pretty short. We have Maureen here today to talk about the second item, so we can get through the first item really quick, and then so I think we can keep it in order.
Sounds good. Awesome. All right, so let's go with agenda item 1, which is discussion of Friends of Brookfield meeting with Steve Carmen.
Yeah, so Beth, you forwarded me your invite you received from Don Tapp to the Friends of Brookfield meeting on November 18th. I think it was the week before Thanksgiving. And it was just an opportunity to meet a community group who is doing work to improve town resources and businesses in town. We also spoke with Don and Amy, who joined us in our October meeting, and it was mostly just an introduction. And the thing that we can potentially coordinate with them on is they want to create a town directory for businesses, and we suggested that we could include that information on the town website, link out to theirs. And Beth, you spoke with Ron about the possibility of linking to town resources on the website. So we won't necessarily be in charge of that content, but we can link out to community resources provided by nonprofits and other groups that are contributing that information for our town. And there might be some other committees or organizations that we've become familiar with. And Sharon Mahoney, this is on a separate topic, but it's somewhat connected. Sharon Mahoney sent an email to Ron about the existence of another existing resource. And Ron forwarded that to us. It's the A Better Brookfield, I believe. Is that the name of the website?
Oh, yes, yeah.
Yeah.
She did forward that as a resource.
And they manage a town directory on that too, so we can reach out to that. And her email was the person in charge of that. I think it's Danielle Lamro Kane. So there are other groups that we might reach out to include their information on the town website, link out to it. So we won't necessarily manage that content, but if there are any community organizations that are contributing to the town, I think Ron gave his blessings to list that information on the website. But back to Friends of Brookfield, really our conversation there was just an introduction. I got to meet all of them. They seem like a nice bunch. And know Brad as well, and he's so your role, are you the...
I'm the treasurer.
You're the treasurer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
I've heard things.
Yeah, but it seems like they want to handle things on the the sort of business directory for the town, and we also want to do our own improvements on the staff directory. So, but in meeting with Don and Amy 2 months ago, that's something that they expressed is they would like to improve listing who is who in town. So, yeah, I mean that's really about it.
Sounds good.
Yeah, but it was nice to meet them also. Thank you for forwarding me the invite.
Wow, I'm glad you could go. So I guess with that, we can move on to our next agenda item, which is add communications committee member to emergency preparedness plan with Maureen Lepac. Would you like to come up or just be right there, whatever you prefer?
Want to take my seat?
Yeah, we can swap on.
Hello.
Hello.
So we work with the state Department of Public Health and Environmental Protection to draft and maintain a emergency preparedness plan for Brookfield. And it has in it a list of contacts. So your group just stood out to me as one that would be a good add to that plan. Since you're in charge of communications, you may have ways of helping us to communicate with residents quickly in an event of emergency. And so the ask is just to have you nominate someone to be the point of contact in the plan. So what we need is just a phone and email address, something that would you'd be able to respond to fairly quickly. Occasionally we do drills, so we do like a mock event, and then we try to find out, you know, how quickly you can respond to it if we send out the alert, or the state sends out the alert. So just be prepared that it does require an occasional participation in a mock event.
Okay.
Sounds good. Is that plan available somewhere for review? I'm just curious.
Yes, the Board of Health has it, and I can obviously give you a copy of it.
Yeah. Would you mind sending me a copy?
It's this big.
Oh, it's not
So
like
it's-
electronic.
It's
I guess,
electronic, but it's
yeah, it's hard to
giant.
email that.
Mhm.
So okay,
But
that's
yeah,
fine.
I mean,
Sounds
it
good.
has security planning in it and everything too, so it's not necessarily like widely distributed, but
Oh, okay.
you know, it's distributed among like emergency personnel, the police, and different things.
Okay, sounds good.
Is it restricted in any fashion? Like from being shared?
No,
I mean, it contains personal information, right? And
It does.
people's phone numbers and emails.
it's a separate contact list though.
Oh, okay. Cool, cool, cool.
Yeah, careful with that.
Is that, could I ask a question? Is that like if there's an emergency in town?
Yeah, it's certainly emergency dispensing.
Because
So-
is it run the,
So this,
because I don't know, is this in their charge order to handle things like that?
no, it's just, we have a lot of people are involved in emergency preparedness, so
Yeah.
it's not like just Ron, it's Ron, police chief,
Right,
fire
right.
chief,
Yeah,
emergency Donna, you know, the school nurse, like everybody, there's a lot of people in it. We just wanted to add, we put churches in it, we put, you know, places, food pantries and things like that, just in case there's an emergency and we wanna communicate quickly to broad, you
okay.
know, range of people, so that if there's an emergency, then they can put an action plan in place, depending on what that emergency might be.
All right.
So this just seemed like a likely, just an add to the communication plan to make sure that you're aware if there's, you know, if we're setting up say there's another pandemic and we have to set up vaccination clinic outside, you know, like we want to direct traffic flow and stuff, you would be likely the ones that would help us just to communicate that to the town people, that where to go, how, you know, what's the flow of traffic look like and things like that. But you don't have to design any of it. All you have to do is help us communicate what we're trying to communicate out.
Okay. Cool. I believe for like, emergency information right now, we primarily use Blackboard Connect, right? Is that what it's called?
Yeah,
Is that
I
the
think
phone?
so.
Yeah, it's a
Robocall,
Right.
I think we would need to. I mean, I think we probably need
but
to
you
push
guys
stuff.
aren't taking
I don't know how
control.
many residents use it.
It's not, I'm not asking for you to take over
Right,
anybody
right.
else that's in the plan, it's just, it's
yeah, I
like,
was thinking
It's
about
just
it.
it's
join
just
the
to
party.
Yeah, it's just to give another set of eyeballs on it. It sounds like-
Another person on the list,
Yeah.
somebody who might be able to help in an emergency.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we update the website, so it makes sense. I'm assuming that would
Right,
basically
like
be
if
our
we need to
role.
put
Right.
something out quickly, we wanna be able to connect. If the state wants to get in touch with somebody who needs an emergency post into the website or something like that, then
Yeah.
we just wanna be able to connect to the
Yeah,
right
our
person.
committee handles the website, so that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, and on the website itself, we can put alerts that are displayed at the top of the page for high priority items. So if there was something that needed to be dispersed quickly, that would be a way that we could do it. And that would be within our charge of managing the website content, and does overlap with this.
We can also do email outs to, at least to the employees, if that's anything that ever needs to happen, but.
Yeah, and hopefully we can build and expand on what we have and stuff.
Yeah.
'Cause-
Yeah, so it's super simple, just you nominate someone and provide afterwards, when you get a chance, just the contact information, so I can add it to the plan and send it off to the state so they have it in their list.
Sure.
That's all.
Sounds good. Is anybody interested in taking the role? Open it to the floor.
I'll take it.
All right.
I volunteer.
Low volunteer, yeah.
Perfect. All right, so
Constantly.
I don't think we necessarily, do we need to vote on this?
Yeah, let's do
Okay.
it just to keep it formal.
Vote to nominate Steve Carmen as the Communications Committee member who's part of the emergency preparedness plan for the town of Brookfield.
Second.
All in favor?
Any discussion?
Oh,
Zero discussion.
zero discussion.
All right, aye.
Awesome. Great, okay. So I think we're done with that agenda item. And we can move on to the next one. So discuss relocating, revising, or removing existing website pages. So I think this was in regards to some changes that were made on the Board of Health page where there were several pages that were removed from it per the request of the Board of Health. Many of them not necessarily relevant to the Board of Health. So I do think it's important that we re-review them. I know, Steve, you went through and found some where there were municipal resources present.
Mm-hmm.
So going back through those pages, identifying municipal-based resources, pulling those out, contacting those municipal-based resources, identifying if they're still available, and if so, if they want to be on the website, and if so, getting the blessings. And hopefully by the time we rebuild that, we'll be on the new website. So, any thoughts, ideas, concepts on that?
Yeah, so this ties in a little bit to the next agenda item on here, which is discussion of resources for residents, page development, so we can talk about that in more detail. Mm-hmm. But I think just to give some context for this particular scenario was the Board of Health section of the website did have a large quantity of general resources added to it late. I think it was pretty early last year, and from the Board of Health's perspective, that information wasn't really pertinent to the operations of the town's Board of Health, where the important information is permits, applications, regulations, transfer station information. So these additional information pages, I think they drowned out that important message about 3-to-1, 5-to-1. I don't know what the ratio was, but so there was a request to remove those pages, and I think it's fair to allow our various public bodies to decide what they want published on their section of the website.
Yeah, and I agreed with the logic behind it. Like you said, a lot of the resources were state and federal resources, not necessarily municipal resources that are hard to identify through like online means. Many of them, if you searched on Google, you would find them immediately. I don't necessarily think that for those sorts of resources in that format is the correct place for them. But I do agree that, especially with the municipal resources, we want to make sure those get out there because, a lot of the stuff at the town level, it's hard, it's not very well communicated electronically, so we don't want to lose those, but we also want to make sure that they get a chance to shine as well.
Just so you know, there's a hand raised.
Oh, there's a hand raised. Oh, okay, I'm sorry, I didn't see that.
You want to handle that.
Well, before we do that, I don't believe we have a proper public comment policy for our, so would you like to suggest one?
I think, so really quick, how does the select board do it?
Tell us, Kyle.
We can hear you, Chris. One moment.
How does the select board do it?
That's a great question.
It's a prerogative of the chair.
Yeah, prerogative of the chair.
Right.
Yeah.
So I know at the last couple I've gone to, there's been like a specific set of time for
2 minutes.
2 minutes? Okay.
Yeah, and stay on topic is the recommendation.
Okay, I think that's a pretty solid system. So let me just set a timer for 2 minutes so that we have that. I'm sorry.
Were you able to hear that, Chris? They're going to be doing a 2-minute timer.
All right, awesome. Okay.
Is it going?
And I'll have the timer go when you start speaking.
Okay, yeah, go ahead, Chris.
We can't hear you if you're talking right now. I'm sorry, into the mic. We can't hear you if you're talking right now.
Oh, all right. I think all he wanted to say is he lost the audio.
Oh no. Is there a chat? Can you talk through
Yeah,
that?
he texted. All right, can you hear it now, Chris?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Awesome.
We'll work on this.
Okay. All right, so then we'll leave this out because I'm sure we'll have other people who want to talk.
Would you just be able to recap what you guys were saying, because it lost out when you were deciding if you have public comments or not?
Yeah. Did you want us to talk about the agenda item itself or just the policy on public comment?
Well, Madam Chairman, you were saying something about, Mr. Carmen said something about not having a public comment, and that's when the audio cut out, so I didn't get to hear whatever you guys were saying.
Okay, I don't
So
think
if you just give me like a quick summary of what happened when that audio cut out, I would appreciate it.
Yeah, I spoke with Brad and asked him about the select board policy and what has been used recently, and we decided on using a 2-minute timer. So that's what we're going to do. Is for public comment, we'll give people like the 2-minute timer. So, did you want to have a public comment or?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to be heard on the website pages, without question.
Okay. Would you like to speak now, or would you like to wait?
It's not now, whatever pleases the board.
All right, I think perhaps after we finish agenda item 3B, we can tie it all together, because we can talk about what we can do with some of the pages that we're removing the Board of Health section, and
This is on the board doesn't take any action. They take comments before they take the action. That's concurrent with the select board.
Sure.
Sounds good. All right, so we can continue discussion once we get to the end of 3B. We'll open it for comment. Great. So moving on to the second part of this agenda item, the discussion of resources for residents page.
Yeah, but before we get to that, Beth, for 3A, I think it could be valuable just as part of our plans of migrating the current website to a new platform, because our current platform on Civic Plus is no longer supported as of this month, and we're going to be migrating to a new web platform.
I think it's over. Like, it is no longer supported.
Right.
Like today, it's been not supported.
Yeah, it was like December 31st, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what did you lose?
Just security updates, and
If something is broken, then yeah.
Like we're on our
Support.
pretty much, if it's broken.
Yeah. If things fall apart, that's about it. So.
yeah, but as part of that migration process, we are going to archive and clean up unused and obsolete pages on the current website, and there are quite a few of them. We will certainly maintain them for document retention purposes, but as far as including them on the main section of the website, I think we will clean up some of that stuff. So I think it would be worthwhile for us to devise sort of an inventory of pages that we feel are no longer relevant, and perhaps in a future meeting we can review those existing pages and just decide, are we going to relocate these pages or archive them or remove them.
And in that vein, I was looking around I don't know the computer term for it, but basically like the graveyard that's inside of Civic Plus, and it does seem like there was a point where there were dedicated pages, like resources for residents, resources for businesses, resources for visitors. So it might be good to look in those spaces as well. I'm guessing they might be a little too old to be relevant, but I don't think it hurts to give a poke in that space before we lose it. So we can include that as well in this review process of getting all this information out before the transfer happens.
Okay, sounds good. And I think we can include that as an agenda item for our next general meeting.
Sounds good.
All right, that's it for 3A for me.
That's it for me as well. Do you have any comment? I know you're a social media guy, so.
No, it is true. There's like, that's the whole point of this committee, is that there was a ton of pages that were outdated, useless, or whatever. So it makes sense to do that.
Okay. Did we want to open to public comment once we get to the end of 3B?
I think that would be for the best, so we're done the entire agenda item. We won't make any decisions until then either.
Thank you for your patience. All right, so we'll move to 3B, which is the discussion of resources for residents page, development and others. So we have discussed this multiple times now at multiple meetings, the need for this. We've had multiple groups, including the Friends of Brookfield, bring up the concept of it and the value of it. It is something we are planning on doing, but again, with the website currently being sunsetted, like, that is the status that it is in, is sunset. We wanted to really focus on getting the website moved over into a new platform that will be usable. So, is there any other comments from the committee about that?
Yeah, so, I mean, tying these two topics together, I did look through the pages that were removed from the Board of Health section of the website to try to identify pages which contain Brookfield-specific resources and information. And there were 3 of them on there that I itemized. It was the food assistance programs from Brookfield, free blood pressure and glucose screenings for seniors, and mental health and wellness for seniors, which all had resources specific for Brookfield. And I think it's important for the website to have Brookfield-specific information on it. So if the resource is supported by our town itself, that is very relevant to publish on our website. So I think that would be the type of information that we would be looking for to publish in the resources for residents page.
One thing I think we'll have to run by Ron, though, is, and I'm sure he'll be fine with it, is posting municipal resources from private, like, groups kind of thing, like what kind of policy there is on that. I'm assuming he'll say it's fine, but I know there are lines, and I just want to make sure that we're not overstepping a line, you know, so.
Yeah, I think it's good to check with Ron to make sure that we're above board on that. And I would say for other resources that are not necessarily town specific but are more general and broad, I don't think the town website is necessarily the ideal platform for that more general information that residents could find elsewhere. If it's a regional thing or something that's a bit more hard to find, and somehow Brookfield can, our website can help residents get that information, then perhaps there's an argument to be had to include that too. But I think first and foremost, this information would be specific to programs and resources in our town. Yeah.
And I do think there are certain instances where resources outside of the municipality are important. Like, so for example, if you have certain forms from the state that are required to be filled out along with municipal forms that are provided to the town for something that you're doing in the town, that would make sense. And again, at this time, I think a lot of this is we're working with what we have kind of thing. So we really kind of want to make this a municipal resource. And once we have that set in stone, we can really expand it. But again, I think when you just have too many things that are not municipal specific in too many places, you can't keep up. People can't keep up with it, you know. And I think if we do get resources that are like state or federal or whatever, that we really need to try and focus on linking out and making sure those links stay true. Mm-hmm. So we aren't the ones updating it, and the source of truth is changed by whoever owns it, and we just link out to it. So
I think that's the important thing. Like I'm 100% with more information is not a bad thing, but you don't want to hinder the actual important information that you need in your own town with stuff from maybe like the state or something like that. Like, yes, you can still have it, but to me, the eye on the prize, and the prize right now is to make it so that people can find stuff for Brookfield specifically. And I think that's where, like, if we get too tripped up with the broader picture, I think it's important to nail down the Brookfield stuff. And then from there you can move and say, okay, here's some more extra stuff for Massachusetts and everything like that. That's my view on it anyways. Instead of boiling the ocean, focus on one thing kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the other side of it would be we have to maintain that content too. So if there's more stuff that's broad, it would put the onus on us to keep it up to date. So just keeping up to date what is Brookfield specific, I think, is a better scope in that regard too.
Yeah. Any other discussion by the committee before we open the floor to the public?
All good.
All right, sounds good. All right, we'll open the floor to the public. Let's see, I guess Kelly technically had his hand up first, so. All right, Chris, would you like to speak first?
Sure, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so one of the concerns that I have is, that you guys said that this was done by the Board of Health to ask for those pages to be removed, when in fact it was really just done by one member of the Board of Health. The Board of Health voted unanimously to have the pages put onto the website, and I think that it should be a unanimous vote to take them down. To just leave it up to one member to make that decision unilaterally, I think it creates a real problem in our government. And I respectfully request that the Brookfield Communications Committee look at other town websites. For example, West Brookfield offers resources for the 988 number, offers resource for substance abuse, and even the substance abuse that page that was on our Board of Health website linked people to, not linked them, but gave them information to actual meetings that happen in our town, in this very room that you guys are sitting in. I mean, that resource is just taken away. I'm glad to hear that you know that you want to put the senior stuff back up, because I worked in collaboration with Brenda to get those resources up there that were available in our town. That was a joint effort. And look, let's just be honest. I created those pages. I'm not the most popular person in the room, and that shouldn't be in the way of providing resources to the town, to the people of Brookfield. And I understand that you guys want to focus more on what's going on in the town, but the Board of Health also has a duty to inform the public of certain health risks. COVID-19, there should be resources on there about that. How to get health insurance, why can't we have that on our town page? This is for the betterment of Brookfield. Getting food stamps. It actually tells you how to get food stamps. It gave you direct information to the food pantry in our town. So it was very disappointing to see all those resources just completely wiped out. It was disappointing. It really was. It was one, I created them, and I put a lot of effort into them. Two, the Board of Health voted unanimously to have those pages. And to see it done without an official vote, I hate that government. I think it should be a group effort.
All right,
But I would
it's
really
been 2
like to ask
minutes.
you guys to take a look at West Brookfield's page. I took a look at Lester.
You're at 2
We
minutes, Chris.
linked to Lester.
All right, Chris, 2 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll take that into consideration.
Yes, and I'll talk to Ron about the voting for the removal of website material, just because that has not been a standard procedure in any website updates that we've performed for any groups yet. And I also don't think that is how it was written in the committee charge. I think it was that Ron would oversee us.
Right.
That's why he's CC'd on everything.
Right.
And yeah. So just on that specific note. On the other notes, the loss of municipal resources, we do, Steve did identify the pages that do contain municipal resources. We'll pull those out, confirm they're still accurate and up to date, and plan on putting them in the new resource page.
Yeah, and I'll look through the rest of them too, and I mean, just to be fair, I can reach out to Chris as well and make sure that any information that he still would like get captured in there, we can come to some consensus between what information he thinks is town relevant or useful for our town and what we think is town relevant, and just come to an agreement on that.
Yeah, I also, if he has, because I know he built a lot of this out, sounds like him and Brenda did. When you reach out to him, if you could ask him for, like who he contacted for those specific things, especially the municipal ones. I mean, state, I'm sure they were just pulled off websites.
Yeah.
But just, that might help a little bit if he can give you some names of people to contact, and how to contact them, instead of having to try to figure it out.
And I guess on the general topic of Council on Aging, there is one more page on the Board of Health section, the assisted living page, and Maureen has her hand up. We'll get to you in a moment. But on this topic, there is one more page on there, so I reached out to the Cultural Council because Maureen asked if they might want that page in their section. And it seems like some of these resources are for seniors, and for that reason, maybe the better home for them would be the Council on Aging as opposed to Board of Health. Or maybe we put it on this resources for residents section. So we have some decisions there in terms of also determining what of that information is valuable. All right.
Awesome.
I think it is important to note that if you do look around at other towns, there are, a lot of them are a little more up to date and they're a little more organized. I say a little, but a lot more organized than what ours is currently. Like I've just been scrolling around the West Brookfield website. It's pretty intuitive. Things are easy to find. There's not much clogging everything. There's links everywhere. So I think we want to get the website to that point. And I think it's not something that happens overnight, unfortunately. And I'm sure it didn't happen overnight for them either.
Yeah, it's taken us quite a while even to update, I think, things that are very critical, like who is on the committees, what are their names, what are their term limits, like things that are very core to the town government that were not accurate and up to date on all of the boards and committees. But anyways, we had two hands.
Yeah.
You were next.
I just have one, it's just a quick question. It was, when do you guys think the website will be back up?
So just to clarify, the website is still up, but it is sunset. And I guess Steve will probably be able to give a better explanation than me. But basically all that means is we can still use the space, but if something breaks on it that we can't control, like because the vendor provides the space for us, then there's nothing we can do.
Yeah, so we're currently in the process of migrating the Brookfield website to a new website platform, and this is something that got started maybe about 3 months ago, and that was one of the reasons that our committee formed in late August, was to establish a plan for migrating the website and managing the website, because the current platform that we are on, it lost technical support and security support this month. So we're currently shipping out to the project to vendors and doing our own vetting of that. We're going to meet very soon to review our recommendations that we'll pitch to the select board. So it's going to be coming up in the next few weeks.
Just a quick question, because you came. Was there something specific on the website that changed or was removed that you were interested in seeing, or things that you would like to see on the website? We hear a lot from town officials and each other, but I love hearing from residents.
Honestly, a lot of the things was also what Chris mentioned, but nothing like recently that was.
Sounds good, thank you. All right, and then.
So the Board of Health met in May of 2024 and together as a board went through sections. And that was a result of complaints we were getting mostly from the health agents and the Leicester office about people they were interacting with saying they couldn't find the correct forms. We were also not in compliance with our Title V postings, and as you know, I mean, he's said it himself, with a lot of work, and we had a board of 3 volunteers, and you guys didn't exist yet as a committee, so we had to make sure the board's web page was fit to purpose for what the requirements for the board was. It's not to say that a lot of the information in there wasn't useful and desired, but a lot of the links were starting to be broken. There was stuff that wasn't necessarily in the purview of the board, and like you said, it's nice to see it go into a place where it might be more easily found. Some of the state will occasionally ask us to spread the word about, you know, one topic or another, and those don't really deserve to be buried under the Board of Health page, because not many people are going to go there other than septic installers and things like that. It's better to have it on the main page and to get it out on social media and things like that. But there's never a requirement from the state for us to post anything. We're not required to maintain a new website. That's our duties. So, but I applaud the work that you guys are doing, and it's great that someone's taking that work, because I certainly wouldn't be able to do it. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for the insight on the Leicester Regional Public Health comments. I'm assuming that was the group from Leicester that was reaching out to you. So, thank you. Are there any other public comments on this agenda item? All right, any more discussion based on public comments?
I would say this is the resources for residents page we can discuss with Ron. You mentioned, Beth, we want to make sure that we're in good graces for including private organizations on that listing or in general on the website. I believe you've talked with Ron about that in general at some point, but we can just get it all formal for that.
Yeah,
and,
we can get it all drawn up so when we're, once we finally get the chance to switch over, we can get it right in.
Okay.
Because we'll have the whole thing ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, I think we can more formally discuss the content of this in an upcoming meeting too. So let's include that, just this general topic. We can split these two line items into two separate items because I think there are their own things now as far as cleaning up content plus introducing this new helpful resources for residents content on the site.
Sounds good. Great. All right. So let's see. Is it okay to move now to the next one? Any more comments? Awesome. All right. So review of 12/18/24 meeting minutes.
Yeah, I sent those to you today.
Thank you.
Just about an hour before the meeting, which I think means I was a bit more timely than last time, but just barely.
That's okay.
I happened to catch it when you sent it over. I was able to read it.
Oh, Chris. Chris.
I had that rare few minutes between one thing and another.
I don't know if I've seen the email, or you may not have sent it to me.
Oh, the meeting minutes?
Yeah.
Would you like them?
Yeah.
I will send them to you right now.
Thanks.
You are referenced in them because you did
Yeah.
speak. Alright, let's see. They're also posted on my town government, just the draft for
Oh,
now.
yeah, I can pull it now.
I got you.
Cool, thanks.
Yep.
I just realized we missed agenda items, and you said we want to put agenda items on the next one. I'm just going to throw those on really quick.
Oh, thank you.
Do the next one? Yeah. Well, I think the social media policy, we were waiting for Ron for something.
No, I think
He actually, I must have gotten popped off the chain or something because I didn't see it.
it was this point right here. The social media policy suggested the town administrator, Ron Aponte, be assigned the role. So we can put.
You run that by him?
Yeah, and he also said that basically we should just fill it out what we think. The select board is going to review it. If they disagree, they'll send it back.
Okay.
So.
Alright, that's fine.
I do have a note about the advisory committee request discussion from our meeting minutes. Not up for discussion, but just want to follow up on that because we didn't have it formally on the agenda. Not for discussion, but we did meet with the select board to discuss the mailing for the town warrant. So, Chris, we can give you an update and the public an update on that. But.
Yeah, I did. I saw that too, and I've just been like adding them to our agenda items for next time. So I do have that as an agenda item to discuss the annual town meeting mailer versus the warrant.
Okay.
What we discussed with the select board.
Sounds good. There's also something else I wanted to follow up on that's listed on here, and that's and Maureen emailed us about this too, about having a town email address for the communications committee. I think you had to email Ron for that, so Jacob could set it up, I think. Did you send her an email for that?
That set up? I forget. We have one, right?
There's an email list and then communications commission email. Did I not send?
I think you might have sent it to me. We can get that sorted out.
Yeah, I'll work with you again.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Because a few people have asked, well, how do I contact you?
Yeah,
And it'd be great if we could start using that as opposed to our personal email addresses.
Yeah, definitely. That would make life a lot easier. So I'm not going to add that as an agenda item though, because I think that's. I'll add it later if it's something that we still need to work on. But.
Sounds good. Oh, I will, yes. I saw that. Thank you.
I was like, I'm going to let Steve do that.
Yeah, I certainly planned on it. I didn't want to be too eager to respond because it's just like, yeah, we're still meeting. It's a.
Yeah, well, I swear, we'll be there soon.
Yeah.
Steve, did you finish the website vendor report?
I have not yet. I am so close.
Okay, no, it's fine. I was like, I remember him saying.
I said
So I went through my email just to make sure.
I said I was going to
didn't
finish it
miss
about 2 weeks ago, and then I told Beth I was going to finish it last Monday, and then stuff came up.
What happens?
It's but
Well, you got assigned it over the holiday, so.
yeah, but
That's
the
true.
holiday was a
Grace.
month ago, so I don't need any more excuses for myself. But I can finish that for say the next week because I know we want to meet just as our committee for that.
Yeah.
You know, of course, a public meeting.
Yes, public, definitely, but our ex officio members will not be attending as they both have potential conflicts of interest. No offense.
Right. So that report will be ready soon, and then we can review it as a committee before presenting it to the select board.
Awesome. All right. I don't have any issues with the meeting minutes. I guess you have a chance. Did you normally vote on them, right?
No,
Yeah.
that's the only thing I can't do.
Yeah, you just
Speak freely.
wanted them for funsies.
Anything?
No,
All right.
looks good.
All right, let's see. Would we like to vote?
How about you? Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, did you say anything?
Huh?
All right, cool.
Would I like to vote to approve the 12/18/24 meeting minutes?
I second the motion to approve the meeting minutes.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Wonderful, awesome. All right, with that, we can vote to adjourn this meeting.
Do you want to set up a second date?
Oh, yes. I didn't put it on our thing. So
What?
that's kind of breaking the law. But
No, it's not.
Yeah, planning's okay.
You can plan for a second.
For planning meeting.
Planning meetings are fine.
Okay, awesome. Okay, then let's definitely do
Otherwise, you
that.
could never have another meeting without first having a meeting.
All right, so yes, let's do that really quick for our next meeting.
So our next meeting, I think, will be our meeting to review the.
That one's going to be like impromptu, though.
Yeah. So do you want to plan those 2 meetings though, perhaps? Because I think
Do you need the pressure put on you?
I do.
Okay.
I would appreciate it.
Okay.
And I'd
If
like
you
to
need
I
the
work better
pressure-
under pressure too.
All right, sounds good. When do you think you'll complete the report?
Friday,
Okay.
and it'll be ready end of day Friday, so we have the weekend. And if we can meet next week, we can, or the week after. But let's get it going soon if we can.
Okay.
And if you could remind me of the date that I'm not coming.
It's whatever this one is that we're gonna talk about
That
right
you're
now.
doing right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
So anything works?
Perfect, yeah. That's great.
So you want to do next week? It looks like a quiet week for everybody. What days can you not do?
Just Thursdays.
Just Thursdays. What days can't you do?
I think I can do every day.
Okay, I can't do Monday, Wednesday, or Friday.
So is that every week or is that just next week?
Well, Wednesday is a special day. It's my son's birthday.
That's
And then Mondays and Fridays, I can never do it. So,
We could also do it the week after that too, if that works better. But from that what you just said, it sounds like Tuesday might be a possibility.
let's do Tuesday. I think that would be fine. Then
I
it's,
can't do Tuesday, but I don't think I really
but you
need.
can't be
but,
there.
But I don't.
You don't need to be there because we're basically.
I don't think I need to be there anyways.
Yeah, it's just us reviewing the report to
Right.
submit to
Yeah.
the select
To the
board.
select
Yeah.
board.
Yeah. So it'll just be the 3 of us. So let's do Tuesday at 7, because 7 is the earliest we can do this.
Sounds good to me.
Yes. Literally here, so I'm just gonna do it, and then I'll do this after. I don't want to make all these people wait while I try to make a meeting. But it's empty, so we'll just have it here.
So that next meeting you're gonna have, is that when you're making your decision, and then and then you'll be ready for the select board?
Yeah, I'll write it up so it's like discuss, review, finalize, report, and then we'll submit it to you guys.
Okay,
And
because I
then,
just want to figure out like for the select board agenda.
yeah, like what it
Yeah.
would get put on.
Yeah.
So we'll hopefully be literally giving it to you that night.
Yeah.
Okay.
Although depending on our conversation, there might be some edits that I'll make that evening. So it should be ready by the following week, I would say, if
Okay.
the select board agenda has time for it.
All right. Sounds
Is it
good.
okay for us to have like an active working session during a public meeting? Like, kind of like the meeting minutes, but then like we actively update them and approve the finalized version we generate?
Yeah, I mean, because two of you I know could come in, it wouldn't be a problem, and we could have it like as a working discussion, which is fine.
But it's the voting.
Otherwise, it
that
would need
matters.
to be posted as a joint meeting, and you gotta go.
But you're
through
gonna
all-
give it to us on Friday.
Yes.
Are
we
you
can
sure
come
you're
with-
ready for this
Absolutely,
commitment?
absolutely. I
So
mean,
that
it's,
gives us
it's,
the
it's very
weekend
close
to
to being
review.
ready.
Okay, so that gives us the weekend to review, and if you let us like just have even comment access to the document, then we can make comments on it.
Yeah, but we should save those comments and not share them amongst each other until
Yeah,
we meet
I would
as
just come
a
with
Yeah.
Okay.
quorum.
Yeah, just come with our notes.
Come with our own
Easier.
sticky notes.
Yeah.
Sounds good. All right. So then that's that for that one, and then the big one. All right. So I don't see any select board meetings scheduled past the 30th.
No, she only posts them like a few days before.
Oh.
They're typical, well, they're all over the board right now. It should be the 6th and
So they're typically bi-weekly.
the 20th bi-weekly.
Okay.
So,
But like this week, we weren't supposed to have a meeting and now we did.
so is the 4th, or we are basically going to have it ready with our recommendation of which one we're going to, like which vendor is the one we
Yeah.
think we should go with, correct?
Yeah.
That is the plan, unless we come to some.
I just want to make sure I'm prepared.
Some
I don't
disagreement.
wanna- I don't want to show up and not have read anything or anything.
Alright, let's see. So like looking at the last week, which technically if the select board runs its regular schedule, there wouldn't be a meeting, but we'll just assume Thursday's off. Cause you can't do Thursdays anyways, right? So it doesn't matter.
I mean, I would say we try to do it the 20th, but I don't know, that's school vacation week for the 20th.
No, I don't have that problem.
Not yet.
Not yet.
I think I'll be around.
Yeah, but you'll be busy. So,
You could do the 25th, it's a Tuesday.
do we want to do the 25th? Does that work for everybody?
February 25th, yeah.
And that gives you, well, I was gonna say, I know you're on the conservation commission too. I didn't know if you want to double book on a day, because I think the other option's Wednesday.
Oh, yeah. So our meeting for the Conservation Commission, I think
It's at 5:30,
yeah, that's fine.
but
I can do that.
it's up to you. Like if you
I
want to
would-
double
I
book,
would love to have a meeting day, just one.
okay,
So
just get
double
it all.
book it.
Does Wednesday work for everyone?
Do it Wednesday.
And I don't think our meeting is going to last more than an hour and a
Oh,
half.
so you're gonna do a meeting on the 26th?
Does that work for you?
It does. Where do you want to do the meeting then?
We should probably,
Because Board of Health
It's gonna
has a
be
meeting
here
here at
at
6.
6.
yeah,
I guess we
And
could do it.
conservation's over at the police at 5:30.
I mean, just to give the Board of Health a little bit of grace. Although I think last time,
Well, Maureen might be back and she might have an idea.
oh, how long
Is
it'll
she
be.
coming back? Yeah.
Let's see.
we should might not have an idea depending on what.
Let's see what the page says. Oh, there's no agenda listed yet.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She might not have the agenda yet.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fine, we just did elsewhere, we're here. So.
Yeah.
You could try to go over to the police station.
I think
I mean,
police
unless you think conservation can run long.
Even if it does
If
run
we're running long,
we
I'm
need
not going to
him.
make it to this meeting. So.
Yeah, we need him either way,
Right.
so.
I don't think it's going to last more than an
We
hour
also
and a
just
half.
don't have a conference center over there, so I'd have to set up a laptop or something.
Okay.
We just don't have one of those.
Yeah,
But
so it might be easier to try to do it here.
Okay.
Is this how you're doing the Board of Health?
yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Although
Oh, you're
so
gonna
are
get the Board of
increasing
Health
this-
So
anyway.
you'll be already set up.
Yeah.
I'll be like, huh?
I mean, I guess we can just plan on having it here. Like, we'll have it be this room set. And I mean, Maureen's here, we can ask her. So, because I don't want to say that and then she's going to be like, no, this meeting's going to be very, very long. Don't even try.
Okay, well, we can finalize that time. I
Yeah, we
think.
can always finalize it.
Oh yeah, we can finalize the
Yeah,
location later, but
yeah.
are we all okay with Wednesday, February 26th at 7 p.m.?
Yep.
Right now, yeah. Who knows what's gonna happen?
And then just for context, after we give you that report on the 4th, will it be similar to before where like representatives come? Or is it going to be like both committees meet, or how will that select board review work?
Joint, right?
Yeah, it won't be a joint, so
Okay.
you guys will just come up and kind of go through everything with us.
So one of us should not be there.
Yep.
Right,
I volunteer.
yeah.
Okay, thank you.
It's a Thursday, so I'll be able to be there anyways.
All right.
On the 26th of February, they want to meet here at 7. You have a meeting here at 6. Do you think that meeting will run past 7?
We can do our best
Okay.
to keep it moving now.
And there's probably no problem. I mean, if you're running late and they just started later, right? I've never run into that
You
issue.
can always start later, you can never start earlier.
Right, right.
Yeah, and we'll just figure it out, and then that way we can have the whole set up in case we have virtual attendance for it, so, perfect. All right,
That's great, so I don't have to take this down and put it back together again.
all right. Now, I'd like to vote to adjourn the meeting.
I second that motion. Or I make a motion to adjourn the meeting at, what time is it? 7:58 p.m.
I second it, I guess. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All
Wonderful.
right.
All right.
All right, thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.